Hari Om. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's pray on this auspicious day to the Almighty. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya. Sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together, with utmost devotion, faith, and complete surrender, we offer our humble salutations to the Almighty, who also has the divine name Ojas Tejo Dudidaraha. To such a Lord, we bow down to seek His grace, His mercy, His blessings, His love, His compassion, His forgiveness, His affection, His strength. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, and Vairagya, only and only to understand Thy true nature and have a self-experience, aparokshanubhuti of Thy divine self. We offer our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. Om. Tat Sat. We beseech in you that at the end of our lives we reach thy holy feet. Om Tat Sat. Today, with the blessings of the Almighty and the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 302 on the 4th of October 2022, Shubhakrit Nama Samvatsara, Dakshinayan, Sharadrutu, Ashvayujamas, Shukla Paksh, Uttarashada Nakshatra, Atiganda Yoge, Taitula Karane. On this auspicious day of Navami and auspicious day of Tuesday and the time of the evening, we all take a firm resolve, a pledge, an oath that, O Lord, whatever comes to me in my life through persons, object, places, all situations, all circumstances, incidents, I completely accept them as nothing but your prasad. I know that you have created situations in my life only and only to uplift me from this ocean of births and death. I firmly believe in your resolve and I completely accept and surrender to you. Om. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you on this very auspicious day of the Navami of Navratri. So, as we have seen, like, sorry, in the first verse, Lord Krishna, he basically mentioned about how this knowledge, this science of yoga, he gave it to the sun god who is sun god, and from there Vivaswan passed it on to Manu, and Manu in turn he passed it on to his son Ikshvaku. Now, although we have studied about the doubts which Arjuna had, how is that you say that this is so eternal and yet I know you from your childhood. So all these are there. Now we understand deeply, we go step by step, and then the Lord said, after giving to Ikshvaku, and it passed down the line. Ikshvaku was the first person where he was of the human race. The rest were all demigods. So from Ikshvaku, who comes from the Surya Vamsha, that is Lord Rama's dynasty. So from there onwards, as this knowledge went on passing through various kings, he said at a point of time there was a degradation in maintaining the sanctity of this knowledge. So that was the troublesome factor which happened over here. This is something which is sacred. Bahu Rajanya, he said. Bahu Rajanya is one who has got those strong shoulders, meaning who can protect. That is the point which is to be understood over here. One who can protect the sanctity of this knowledge. Over a period of time, those kings got involved in the pleasure of their senses, and they were not able to do the required justice. So then now, so this kind of a knowledge, what Lord Krishna says is, this kind of a knowledge, O Arjuna, I am passing it on. Now he says, I am going to give you. Now here if you see, let's read the shloka first and then we go into much more details. I'll just post the shloka. This is verse number 3, shloka number 3 of the chapter 4. Shri Bhagavan स एवायं मया तेद्य योगः प्रोक्तः पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं हेतुदुत्तमम्. So the Lord, here he basically talks about the glory of the Guru Parampara, and meaning how this knowledge is transferred from one generation to another. Like as we have the Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. So it is Shruti, Smriti, Puranas, everything has got a transformation stage. It keeps moving from stage to stage, from a guru to a shishya, and then again from the shishya to subsequent guru. So this way, all this happens by the process of diksha, a very sacred process where a sacred ritual is conducted, and the guru gives the knowledge to the shishya. So which means this is the guru parampara, or we can call it as a lineage. So unless and until it has come by a lineage, then it does not have the right sanctity. Because the Guru first he gives it through a diksha to a shishya, and then only after assessing that that particular shishya or disciple is capable and is ready to take this sannyas and carry this knowledge forward. See, in our common commercial life or worldly life, what we see today, there are so many people who are in yellow or orange saffron clothes. But interestingly, they could be not from a parampara. This is what we need to understand. And also what we need to understand is, there are several common household people who are in their normal attire, whatever clothes you can see which a commoner would wear. These people are also who wear such clothes. They might not be in a state of sannyas, or they might not have taken sannyas, but still, although they have not taken diksha, they have this knowledge because it has come from right source again. Meaning, what he tries to say over here is, one need not be a sannyasi per se. That is what is explained over here. There is a small story to narrate this about this diksha and this kind of the topic what we discussed just now. Our Swamiji was telling once he was traveling by train and he saw a person coincidentally was sitting next to him, was also clad in orange robes. So meaning he is basically a Swamiji. So he picks up a conversation with our Swami. He says, "Oh, you too are a Swami?" he asked him. Then our Swami Premananda, he says, "Yes, yes, yes." And then he started talking several other things, one question after the other, which was actually boring Swami Premananda to a large extent. But anyway, being a polite person, he was answering, although he was disturbed. Now, after a point of time, with these rallies of questions coming in from him, now Swami Premananda felt that, this is a going a one-way conversation. He's asking me questions and I'm answering, and I'm not asking him any question. Doesn't look good. So he just asked him, "Swamiji, from which mud to which mud do you belong? Or rather, who is your Diksha Guru?" Now this Swamiji, he says, I don't belong to any mutt. Swami Premanand was taken aback. Then he says, how come? He says, simple, I could not find a deserving guru who could give me initiation. So, in fact, he says, I also doubt if someone exists who has got the capacity to initiate me. Now, these were something, which a traditional Swamiji or a sannyasi from a lineage cannot accept this. So then he asked, Swami Premananda asked the stranger who was in orange robes, that Swamiji, then how did you become a sannyasi? He says, what? There is no big deal. I went to River Ganga, I shaved my head over there, and I also had carried the saffron clothes. After taking a dip in the Ganga, after shaving my head and taking a dip in the Ganga, I wore this saffron clothes. I took a dip 3 times, and after that I wore these clothes. Simple. Now this Swami Premananda, he said, my God, meaning this is how, that lineage what we are talking about, it gets diluted at some point of time. There is no control. So then he says, look, I have some sadhana to do, so please excuse me. And he goes on his, he goes on his upper berth. So he goes there, he sits there, and he starts his chanting and meditation. So without knowing the depth of the Shastras, there are some who completely misuse and misbehave. So how can you think of becoming a guru without having a guru? This is what we need to understand over here, because the Shrestata, meaning the originality, the purity, from where it comes from that Narayana. That Narayana Padma Bhuvam, from his navel comes a lotus on which there is Lord Brahma. And from that Brahma to that Brahma, Narayana gave knowledge. He was the first recipient of that knowledge. And Brahma gave it to his son Vashishta, and Vashishta to Shakti, Shakti to Parasara, Parasara to his son Vyasa, and Vyasa to his son Sukadev, and Sukadev, he had no children, so it was given subsequently to Gaudapadacharya. Meaning, prior to Gaudapadacharya also, there were several others, and then Gaudapadacharya to Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya, then he established 4 mutts in 4 different directions of our country. So can you see the lineage? In Badrikashram, in Jyotipit, in Badrinath, that is in the north. Now that particular ashram was fundamentally on the Atharva Veda aspect. Then the Dwarka Sharda Peeth was in the west, which was on Samaveda. Then the Govardhan Peeth in the east, Puri, on the Rig Veda. And then the Sringeri Sharda Peetham in the south, which was on the Yajurveda. See? And he had designated various other disciples that you have to take care of this mutt. That is your life mission. Sureshwaracharya was designated a disciple in Sringeri. Aham Brahmasmi. That is what was his Veda Vakya. That is, I am Brahman, Aparoksha Anubhava Siddhi, Mahavakya. And then you had the Hastamalaka in Puri, direct disciples of Shankaracharya, who were meditating on Prajnana Brahma, Shodhanatmaka, Vedavakya. Now then you have the Padmapadacharya in Dwaraka, who was on the Mahavakya Tattvamasi, Vicharanatmaka. And Totakacharya we had in Badrinath, Ayamatma Brahma, which is an Upadeshakar, where it is giving you an Upadesha. So in this way, all the 4 Pitadipatis protecting Dharma, they discharge their duties. And as you know, all these Pitadipatis, they have the name ending with either Bharati or Saraswati or Nanda. These were the titles. which were used by this particular lineage. So now, this is the why we are discussing so much about this is the sanctity. Now, if you take like where we from the Chinmaya mission got this knowledge, this lineage was of Bharati Sureshwaracharya. We come under that segment. Sureshwaracharya then gave to Swami Shivananda Saraswati, and from Shivananda Saraswati it came to Swami Chinmayananda Saraswati, and from there to Sri Guruji Tejomayananda Saraswati. Then from him was Sri Advayananda Saraswati, and from Advayananda Saraswati I got this knowledge. Can you see now the connection? It is right from that Narayana. You have this lineage. And from, of course, from now you all are getting this knowledge. Meaning we are coming through a proper channel. That is what we need to understand. And we are connected to this divine knowledge right from Sri Narayana, Sriman Narayana. We are connected in a proper order. Now Sriman Narayana, for him it was avyakta. He was in a state of unmanifest state, and he had this knowledge. The one person who had it without getting it from somebody was Lord Sriman Narayana. And from there even Brahma also, he is in the Saguna state. He got it from Sriman Narayana. So we have to get to the sanctity and purity of this knowledge. Lord Krishna is now, why we are talking about this background is, this is what is the purity over here, how it has reached us. So, evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakalena mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Meaning, as time passed by in parampara, there was a deterioration in this. Imagine, now somewhere somebody has not taken good care of this particular knowledge. What happens? It dies at one point. It gets diluted. So now, here, Lord Krishna says, now he comes to the point. He says, therefore, Arjuna, I know that you are the most eligible prince to protect this knowledge. And he has used two words, adjectives here. He addresses Arjuna here as a Bhakta and Sakha. You understanding? Bhakta and Sakha. Sa evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti. You are not only a Bhakta, but you are also a Sakha cheti. Rahasyam hetuduttamam. So, Lord Krishna, here he emphasizes on that point of Bhakta and Sakha. I'll just give a brief reckoning to this particular point. Why this Bhakta and Sakha both are used over here. Now, let's say you want to tell something very important to someone. Okay. Now, see, we in our daily life, we have done this, but now we are analyzing what this point is. That something important which we want to tell someone, he should have two qualifications or two qualities to get to make the right impact. Now, what are they? First is there has to be love towards the person telling this. Meaning, whomever you want to tell, that very important thing, there is an element of love and affection for that person. Okay, this is one. Now, apart from that, there should also be an element of respect in the relationship with whom you are communicating this. So, this respect and love both are important when you are wanting to give this knowledge, very important knowledge to somebody. Why do we say both are important? Let's say there is only respect. Okay, it will not work. the listener will say, I get scared to go near that person. I somehow feel uncomfortable because he has so much of respect. But when he goes in front of that person, he starts shivering, or he gets scared, he gets nervous. So they say, if it is only respect, there is a possibility that that person will not completely take what you have told. You have all experienced this. Arey, I told you clearly, why did you not? Then they say, sir, I get scared when I come near you. You all have experienced this. So only respect will not work. And why only love doesn't work? No, if there is love, friendship, you know what happens? The listener will lose interest. He will say, okay, whatever you told me, come, fine. Now let's go for a movie, or let's go for a walk, or let's go for a cup of coffee. He will take it lightly. Whatever you have said. Now you have told him such an important thing, but he only has love for you. It happens with children sometimes. We are telling them something very important because there is more of love at one point. When the child matures, then at one point he develops respect. Otherwise, till then he's jumping on you, he's sitting on your shoulders, he's doing all sorts of naughty things. You tell him that love is there, but there is no respect. So there also the knowledge doesn't go to its logical end. So now he says, Arjuna, you have got a doubt. I don't tell to all, or everybody, but when you have a doubt, I am telling you only because you have respect and love for me both. Bhaktosi, you have respect for me. You know that what I tell you will make sense to you earlier and will also make sense to you in the future as well. And not only Bhaktosi, Sakacha, you also love me. We are friends. So, since you are going to listen with that love and respect, I will tell you. Pravakshami, I will tell you. And there's another angle to this. He says, importantly, what I see is you do not have jealousy in you. Jealousy. Why? If there is jealousy, no knowledge will enter our mind. Reason is three and asuya. Asuya is jealousy, are like couples. So where asuya is residing, meaning asuya jealousy is residing, three is also a resident. Now what are these three? Three means number three. Kama, Krodha and Lobha. Trividam narakasyedam dwaram nashanam Kama, Krodha stata Lobha tasmadetat trayam tyajet. Meaning this trividam, this threefold which are Kama, Krodha and Lobha, they are the gates to hell. Kama, Krodha and Lobha. So these three, TRI 3, if this Asuya is there, it is a couple, so it is automatically there. But once this Asuya, meaning this jealousy goes away, then this Kama, Krodha and Lobha will also go away. Now what happens? As this 3 goes away, a 3 comes in. A 3 is the opposite of 3. Kama, Krodha, Lobha goes away and Jnana, Vairagya and Mukti sets in. What a beautiful understanding this is. If we want to get this Jnana, Vairagya and Mukti, you have to get rid first of Kama, Krodha and Lobha. And to get rid of Kama, Krodha and Lobha, one needs to get rid of jealousy, which is Asuya. So in this way, in Katham, we have seen this in verse 21 in chapter 14. katam chaitan strin gunan ativartate. Then only you are able to rise above the three gunas, you become a gunatita. So this is one of the biggest enemy for us. This three, kama, krodha and lobha, and ensure first thing is if somewhere you are getting jealous about somebody, you have to please work on it. Along with jealousy comes kama, krodha, lobha, which is nothing but a gateway to hell. So to get rid of these three, you have to first kick out jealousy, and then automatically as a result of that great Herculean task which you have done, it's no simple task to get rid of jealousy, kama, desire, krodha, anger. So this way the Lord says, then automatically the fruit which comes to you is the bhakti, jnana and vairagya. Jnana, vairagya and mukti. So this is what one needs to understand over here. Now the Lord further, he takes us further, he says, Arjuna, now I have a very special liking for you. Right from the beginning, I have a liking because I know you are into such a situation. Now you are on the battlefield and you have gone through a turmoil, a psychological turmoil, and having understood the context and situation, I choose to preach this sacred doctrine, the essence of all the Vedas. Because Arjuna, when you broke down, you said, Shishyasteham, you said. Shishyasteham means accept me as your disciple. And yat shreyasyat, you said, meaning tell me all the good things, O Krishna, whatever you can tell me. I am broken now. Then you said, Nishchitam bruhitan me, please. Shishyasteham tvam shadi maham prapannam. He says, accept me as your disciple. I have completely surrendered. So when Arjuna says, I have completely lost, I have bewildered, I have lost all my senses, please tell me what is the right thing for me to do in my life. By accepting me as your disciple, then only Lord Krishna, he started preaching Gita to Arjuna. There was a context, there was a situation, but still the Lord, he did not give this. See, Arjuna and Lord Krishna have been right from childhood, they have been together. When they were in a nice holiday place, he could have told this, no? Why in the midst of a battlefield? The context and situation is important. And that surrender by Arjuna, accept me as your disciple, tell me all the good things, and this way, it's like a fruit will taste its best only when it is ripe to the rightest extent. So same way, this knowledge, please remember, this knowledge comes to us when we are in the right phase of our life. Not that we have not heard Bhagavad Gita earlier in our life. If you closely observe yourself, you have been listening to this from time to time at various points, phases in your life. But if you carefully see, the interest and the intensity at which we are learning now is completely at a different level compared to the past. That means Lord has created that situation in our lives. And he says, now you are absolutely right to get it. So every point of time he gave us, to what extent? To the extent we were ripe. Not completely. Now you see the intensity is increasing. The more riper you are getting, situations in our life are getting created that way. And you are getting that intensity. Something or the other proves to you that life is nothing but a shunya. It is somewhere, there is a void. in life. Despite having everything, you still feel that there is a void, meaning that emptiness is only because your heart, your soul, it wants to get connected to the divine. That is its swadharma. It is its very nature. You might have gone on an excursion or on holiday, which is the best thing to happen, not on a business tour where there are so much of challenges, headaches, works to do. Let's say you've gone on a holiday, but tell me honestly how long you will want to still be on a holiday. At some point you'll say, let us go back home. Isn't it? We all have experienced this. When will we go back home? So in the same way, this soul, you may be having the best of life, but at one point you get so much satiated, drowned in this, satisfied, you are satisfied. What do I do? Enough. How much I am going to holiday now? You will say, let me get back home. This is how the same thing happens to our soul. Just like a goldsmith, he melts the gold in blazing fire to cleanse us from the impurities before he molds us into some other ornament. In the same way, these hurdles, these difficulties of in our life are nothing but that fire to purify us. Don't ever take them as God is being unkind to you, or why this life is so unkind to me, why I'm facing all this rut in this life. What have I done to do this? Do I deserve this? All these questions come. No, you are that gold, that pure gold. Some impurities have come in you from this life and the lives before this. Now, Lord has created this situation and is cleansing this soul to get ready for that knowledge. Just like that fire cleanses that gold, in the same way, the Lord is giving you difficulties, which is nothing but that fire in your life. Neem is bitter in taste, but we all take that neem knowing it is bitter and unpleasant only because it has that curing properties. In the same way, we have to willingly accept all these challenges, troubles, hurdles in life with that understanding. See, the difference between us and others is we have an understanding of this truth, this fact, but others don't have. As Kabir Das said, Sukh ke mathe sil pare, नामा किए ते जाया, बलिहारी व दुख की, जो पल पल नाम रठाई. What does he say? A fabulous statement. He says, Sukh. Okay. We all say, Sukh, oh Sukh, joy, happiness, come, come, I have my doors open. If that door is too small for you, I am ready to open the entire wall also for you. We want that Sukh to come to us. He says, throw a stone at that Sukh. Why? He says, I want Dukh which takes me close to God. What do I do with this? So a matured soul, you know what it says? What is prosperity in this sansar, or while I am living? What is true prosperity? It is not a krupa where you have lot of accomplishments in life, where you have money, you have name, you have fame. All those are not that prosperity, my dear. The Shastras and the great saints say that that is true krupa of the Lord, only which takes you closer to Him. That is true krupa. You may have 100 problems. You may be financially broken down, you may be health-wise broken down, you may be relationship-wise broken down. But as far as that krupa is there, where He is taking you towards the Lord, He is showing you the way to go towards the Lord, that is that true krupa. Forget about the rest. Over and above you having the krupa of going towards the Lord, if you still have the rest, then definitely you are a fortunate soul. So don't get bogged down when you see that, why am I facing all these problems in life? Don't get bogged down. This is that clear message the Lord is giving us over here. knowing that the right time has come now, Lord Krishna, knowing that the right time has come and knowing now Arjuna is fully prepared to accept this knowledge, he addresses Arjuna. Bhaktosi me saka cheti rahasyam heduttamam. Heduttamam meaning he now says, oh Bhakta and a friend, and who has done seva to Arjuna has done seva as a Bhakta many a times with that reverence and with that devotion, although he is a friend. Now, this is that great learning which we have to, one great learning which we have to understand from the incident which is in the Mahabharat is how the Lord reciprocates to his devotee. Come, let's get this beautiful story. You know, these stories, they enhance your devotion, your surrender, your faith in that Lord. That's what we want. Now, that's what is true Krupa. As far as we are getting this knowledge, we should say that we are blessed, thoroughly blessed. Minus this knowledge, everything else is a sheer waste. You may be the richest person, you may be the most powerful person, you may be the most known person on this planet, but without you being attracted towards the Lord, all the rest is not Krupa. It is your punya of the past life which you are getting. Okay. Now, the story goes as follows. Before the battle, now Lord Krishna, Balarama, he promises that we are going to give one Akshohini Sainya. That is the Narayani Sainya which the Yadavas had. So he says, I'll give one Akshoni Sainya. That is on one side, and on the other side will be Lord Krishna. Now, this is a choice because both Kauravas and Pandavas both are their cousins. So they can't say that we are not going to support Kauravas, we will only support Pandavas. No. So now this was the scenario where Balaram says, I am not participating in this war. Mine Akshoini Sainya will be on my behalf now. Lord Krishna was in his room taking rest. He had called both Arjuna and Duryodhana to come and see him and decide who is going to take what. Okay. Now it so happened that, unorganized Duryodhana, he was late. He is running towards Lord Krishna's rest place and he finally sees there that already Arjuna was seated in front of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was taking a nap. He curses himself. My God, this fellow is already here. What do I do now? Anyway, now see the humility of Arjuna. He had gone first, he entered first into that room. He could have sat at a comfortable place, maybe next to Lord Krishna's head or something. But he has that seva bhav towards Lord Krishna. He goes and sits at his feet. Duryodhana goes and sits next to his head. Lord Krishna, after a while, he gets up. When he gets up, naturally, somebody may be sitting next to your head, but unless you turn your head, you can't see that person. But when you open your eyes, what you see? The person in front of you, which is obviously whoever is next near your feet, you will be able to see him. So his eyes fall on Arjuna, and then what he does is he asks Arjuna, okay, now you exercise your choice, what you want from these two options what we have. One is the Akshohini Sainya and the other one is me, who is going to be in the battle unarmed. I am not going to take any weapon in my hand. Now when that choice went to Arjuna, Duryodhana was not jealous. And he was also nervous. He says, my God, this Arjuna will take away the Narayani Sena. And this is not going to do good to me. He was in that state of jealousy and at the same time nervousness. Now see, what happens was Arjuna, he asks Lord Krishna, I know your conditions, but what I want is, I want you. That's all. This was a great sigh of relief for Duryodhana. My God, this is a fool. Arjuna is a fool. Although he got a chance, now he still took Krishna. And he says, I am so happy that I got the Narayani Sena. Now here, if you analyze carefully, Lord Krishna observes, in this entire episode, Arjuna, what he had come with a yachana, a solicitation. Whereas Duryodhana had come with a plan, yojana. Secondly, Partha, Arjuna had come with samarpan bhav, meaning where he had completely surrendered to Lord Krishna and come, whereas Duryodhana had come with Rajniti in his mind, politics in his mind. And the third aspect which Lord Krishna noticed here was that Partha, Arjuna had come to ask for charity, dan, whereas Duryodhan, he had come with asking for support, that is samarthan. So this way, these are the finer things which we get to understand what the Lord says when in these commentaries, they have written about all this. Okay, now what we have to understand here is, see, Arjuna was sitting at Lord Krishna's feet maybe for about 10, 12 or 15 minutes, where Lord Krishna was taking a power nap. But in reciprocation for that, Lord Krishna sat at Arjuna's feet in the chariot for 18 days consistently. Can you imagine how much the Lord has reciprocated for a devotee over here, for a friend and devotee? Bhakta Sakha Cheti. And another very important aspect here, what we need to understand is, I'll give an example and then explain this. Now, there are certain situations where one cannot communicate. So there the sign language is used. We all have experienced this. One of the examples which I can give is about scuba diving. In scuba diving, what happens is you have a coach and you have other people also who are a part of the team. Now when you go deep down, you can't talk because you have the oxygen pipe in your mouth. So there you can only communicate by sign language. So now if let's say everything is fine, so then you just give a thumbs up. Yes, all good. Now you want to go up, then you have to raise your thumb and say, I want to go up. Then if you have a problem in your stomach, you have to say that I am not good, I am not feeling good. Point at your stomach and say this way. So these are sign languages for the other person to understand because you are not able to communicate with your mouth. Okay. In the same way, what happens in a war field is, it's not like an AC car which is there, soundproof, almost soundproof AC car where you can communicate with your driver. Array, go left, go right, or go straight, or stop, or go fast, slow, whatever it is, you can communicate with your driver. But imagine that in a war field where there are so many sounds, the harsh sounds of the swords, the chariots, the sounds of the horses, elephants, and in between chopping of heads, the painful noises of the wounded. So in such a situation where also you have the sounds of the conches, the kettle drums, the tabors, the drums and the trumpets. Now tell me, in such a kind of chaos, now you want to tell the your charioteer instructions of going slow or going to the right or going to the left. How is it possible? It's practically impossible. So you know what is the method which they use in the war field? The charioteer is at one level lower. You have seen that very clearly. He is sitting one level lower. And almost from his shoulder level is the platform of the um, warrior. So here what the warrior does is with his feet he touches the shoulder, and there are different methods where he hits the right shoulder to tell him to go to the right, he hits the left shoulder to go left. How does he hit? With his legs, because he is fighting. He is using a armor or archery or any other weapon. So now his hands are engaged, but his legs, he sits down and he stretches his leg and he instructs by tapping the shoulders and the back of the charioteer. So Lord Krishna not only sat at the feet of Arjuna for 18 days, but he took instructions on these lines. So this is what the Lord can give if you have that true devotion for Him. Bhaktosi me saka cheti. This is, He shows His mercy towards His bhakta and His saka. So what they say is, you can see God in any form you want. You want to see Him as a mother, what Yashoda was, as a lover Radha, as a saka Sudama. So this way, one has to increase that love and devotion for the Lord. Rest of all these knowledge is fine. But these are the true essence what we need to grasp from these texts. This is the beauty of grace of the Lord. And you know, when it comes to such things, what is important is, importance here is hiking up our desire to reach the Lord. We have so many desires, right? Now here he says, hike up that desire. In your list of do's, what you want, see that mumukshutva, that desire to reach the Lord, it goes to a peak. Again and again think of that one and only desire, which is the Lord and Lord alone. Gradually you will see how the other desires will automatically drop. This is another way of we dropping unwanted desires. As you see that other desires drop, you will experience automatically that peace, happiness and contentment. Because there is nothing to disturb you. You are at peace or at happiness and contented only when nothing is bothering you. And what is that which bothers us? Is those desires which we have. I'll give you a recent and also in our worldly life, our performance will be much better when you are working only with that divine desire of the Lord in your mind, and whatever you are doing, you're doing for that Lord's sake. See, like when, say for example, you're cooking a meal at home, or you're cooking breakfast or you're making lunch. Now you have that desire for whom? You're doing it for your spouse, for your children, or for the guests who are coming. You want to impress them, you want to make them feel happy. So while you're doing, you will be thinking, oh, he likes this, he doesn't like this. Let me do it this way, that way. Don't we do all this? It is because we just want to see that the person for whom you are doing likes it. In the same way, we have to do each and every activity in our life as I am doing it for the Lord. I hope now I delivered, say, a lecture. I hope the Lord is happy with what I have done. Now, it is not that you have done for something with some intention. My only intention, person's intention should be that I have done it for the love of the Lord. So, there's one incident which happened. This is about one lady by name Anjali Jain. She had appeared recently for IAS prelims. Okay. Once or twice she had appeared, but she had failed. She had not gone through. It so happens that when she was preparing for her exams, it was already, she had 3 months on hand, and during that time she gets infected with both dengue and typhoid. This is a true story, which happened maybe 2 3 years back. Now, she says, I had prepared a bit, not much, because that last 3 months was very important. What she says, she asks her teacher that, shall I appear for the test? Now it is in this last 3 months I have lost because of this fever. So she just tries to take a reckoning from her teacher. Now the teacher, he gave a very he gave an answer which was highly unexpected by her. Now what was the answer? He not only said yes, okay, you can appear, but he also said you will get through, you will pass. This Miss Anjali was shocked. Says, how do you say this? He says, let's see after your result. And then, to their astonishment, it so happened that she got 110th rank. This was never in her expectation, but she got that 110th rank. Now, what is the beauty over here is she had got no desire of whatever she was doing. She did it in a state, of course, we are not talking of any devotion and faith in God and all. One important thing is, in the worldly sense, she expected nothing from this particular act. Very important to catch. Now we are not only, we should be doing this, but we should be adding that divine flavor in our endeavors. So she did not expect. She knows that, okay, I'll do my best, whatever is the outcome. I know that I'll fail, that way. Otherwise, that anxiety, that fear, all these negative tendencies, generally they bog us down. So without all these negative tendencies, any desire, any expectation, she did put in her best and she got the 110th rank. So our main learnings: do everything for the Lord. I am doing it. Constantly you must be thinking, oh, I hope you liked it. Although you may, it's a power, an abstract, feel that awareness within and keep feeling that you are doing for that person, for that superpower. And also what we need to develop here is that increase the intensity towards the Lord. So in this way, Rasyam Hetuduttamam, the Lord says, I am giving you this knowledge, Arjuna, the supreme most, I am giving it to you. Then Arjuna says, hey Krishna, I understand all what you said about the glory of this knowledge. But what is that you are talking about, you giving this knowledge to Surya Bhagavan and to his son Vivaswan, Manu, Ikshvaku? I really don't understand this. So now, because at that point of time, they were in their age of around 70 years, and Arjuna and Sri Krishna were just 4 or 5 months older to each other. So then he asks, what is all this Surya, Ishvaku, explain a bit more about this. So now this is explained in the next verse, which is verse number 4. So we'll take this up in our next class. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Now we'll go with the divine names. (275) Ojas Tejo Jyutidaraha. So first let's read verse number 30. Ojas Tejo Jyutidaraha Prakashatma Pratapanaha Riddhaspashtaksharo Mantraha Chandram Shurбhaskaradyutihi. Now here, Ojas Tejo Jyutidaraha. One who is the possessor is known as Daraha, of perfect physical virility. Virility means Ojas. All brilliancy, which means Tejas, and every beauty, which is Dyuti. So these three terms indicate perfection at three different levels of personality known to us at present. Ojas is that glowing health, physical health, due to perfect balance in the constituents, tattvas of the healthy body. This virility in us, when conserved, disciplined, and trained, can through meditation be converted into intellectual brilliancy and perfect personality integration. So the shine of an individual who has thus sublimated Ojas is termed in our Shastras as Tejas. A yogi, through intelligent living and through a devoted life of continued meditation, has thus gathered to himself Ojas and Tejas sufficiently. He in time grows to become an experienced saint of divine realization, a Buddha. The enchanting atmosphere of irresistible peace and compassion, love and perfection, knowledge and strength such a man throws around him is called the aura of divinity, Yutihi. So in the 10th chapter of the Gita, Lord Krishna autobiographically confesses, I am the might in all strength, I am the brilliancy in all that is brilliant. To such a divine Lord, Ojas Tejo Dyutidaraha, we offer our humble salutation. Seek His grace again and again. Om Tat Sat. Now let's chant the Dhanvantari mantra 3 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye श्री महाविष्णु स्वरूप श्री धन्वंतरी स्वरूप श्री 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 औषध चक्र नारायणाय स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय वासुदेवाय धन्वंतरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वभयविनाशाय सर्वरोगनिवारणाय त्रैलोक्यपतये त्रैलोक्यनिधये श्री महाविष्णुस्वरूप श्री धन्वंतरी स्वरूप श्री 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 औषधचक्र नारायणाय आहा। O Lord, the God of health, please give us health to reach our goal of life. Om. Now we do the Sakshatkara Siddhi Yoga Dhyana. We'll revisit the divine pearls of wisdom. Please come. All of you, please make yourself comfortable. Head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Whichever part of your body is a little uneasy, please bring it to a point of ease by getting up, walking a bit, and again come back and sit straight and erect, comfortable position. Let's take a few breaths as deep as you can. Breathe in and breathe out. Now we start with the first level, Antarika, Drishanuvitsa Vikalpa Samadhi. Now being in a state of a witness, a Sakshi, observe your mind and the thoughts which cross your mind. Now just like you see traffic on the road from your window, where you have no control on them, where you don't judge anything which is happening there. In the same way, without being judgmental, observe the thoughts in your mind. When you don't think of the thoughts will move on. The action in the as a drashta, as a sakshi. slowly observe the number of thoughts reducing in your mind. Now, in the same state of mind, as a witness, let's listen to the pearls of wisdom. What is your true self? Coming out of the aham bhava, the feeling of I-ness, grasp this knowledge of the divine.
Shri Gurubhyo Namah. All the movable and immovable you see in existence is by the union of Kshetra and Kshetra. Know that the Paramatma accompanies the Atma, which is present in all beings, and understand that Atma and Paramatma are imperishable in this perishable body. Paramatma is equally present in every soul. All actions are performed by Prakriti and not the Atma. All the diverse living beings are a part of one Prakriti and are born by that one Prakriti, which is created by that one Atma. Such Paramatma, who does not have any beginning, who does not have any material qualities, this imperishable Paramatma, although he dwells in the body, he neither acts nor he is tainted. Just like space holds everything but does not get contaminated, same way the soul, the Atma, although pervading in the entire body, does not get contaminated. Just as the sun illumines the whole universe, same way the Atma illumines the entire body. In this way, the one who perceives with eyes of knowledge this subtle difference between Kshetra, which is Vikari, Jada, momentary, and destructible, and who understands Kshetrajna as Nitya, Chetana, Avikari, and Avinashi, and also those who understand that all actions are performed by Prakriti will attain that supreme Parabrahma. Hari Om. That's it.
Now in this divine state, experience the awareness in your body, which is nothing but a reflection of the cosmic energy which has enveloped the entire universe. Feel the cosmic energy entering your body through the Sahasrara chakra. That cosmic energy is the supreme truth and rest all is an appearance which is there for some time and eventually disappears. Be free from the person you think you are. Our true nature is not this limited body mind, but that supreme consciousness alone is the truth. Dissolve the I and know that everything is the reflection of that supreme power. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Become aware of your breath. Become aware of your body and mind. Become aware of your surroundings and where you're seated. Rub your palm, place them on your eyes, slowly and gently. Open it. Together, we offer today's Gita Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord, and we seek His grace, mercy. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om.